Welcome to all of you. You're joining me, and this is We Are All Fine, the podcast where we talk about the messy, tricky, and totally normal parts of life. I'm Heidi Lester. I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist, and today we're tackling something that almost everybody experiences, and that's overthinking. That mental looping can feel exhausting, can't it? So stay where you are for a few minutes more and join me as we explore why it happens and what we can do about it. On average, research suggests that humans have around 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Now, that's roughly about 2,500 to 3,300 thoughts per hour, or about 40 to 55 thoughts every minute. That's exhausting just saying those figures out loud. Most of these thoughts are automatic and repetitive. It's your brain's way of processing the information, the planning, and the reacting to you and your world around you. Now, studies have also found that 80% of our daily thoughts are negative or self-critical. And further research suggests that a significant portion of the daily thoughts we have, maybe between about 20 to 30%, are repetitive, ruminative, or linked to overthinking, which is why practices like mindfulness, grounding, and positive affirmations can be so helpful in the battle to soothe and calm all of those racing thoughts that go through your head. I've made podcasts on all of those topics. With overthinking, it happens when our brains get stuck on the worries, the what ifs, or the replaying of past events. Overthinking often comes from wanting to feel in control or avoid mistakes. Our brains naturally try to predict the outcomes and plan for that safer, calmer, more controlled future. But when this thinking becomes repetitive or stuck, it actually stops being helpful and will start to drain your energy. And when you're stuck in this loop, you're going to have increased anxiety, reduced confidence, and your decision making is going to feel impossible. You'll be drowning in all the thoughts you're trying to find, trying to get to, try and connect to solve your problem. It will never work. Understanding that overthinking is a normal brain response, not your fault, it's not a personal flaw, is the first step to managing it. Overthinking isn't just in your head. It will affect your body and your emotions too. Now, if you're anything like me, I notice the tension. I tend to get it in the back of my head or in my neck, where my brain is just working overdrive with these racing thoughts or this mental chatter that is getting me nowhere. I often then feel quite stuck and then completely lose confidence in my ability to think, or I trust my own judgments and I cannot take any action. I know when I overthink, I absolutely don't sleep well. I'm constantly worried. My anxiety is through the roof. I'm always feeling fight, flight, or freeze mode. And this goes on to affect my mood. I can feel quite low, snappy, irritable, moody, don't eat, overeat, drink too much, don't drink enough, and then guess what? I am stuck within my overthinking cycle. And you're in this rabbit hole that feels so lonely and helpless and desperate. This is what this podcast is for today, is to help you recognize these signs, help you take the pause and take steps back to break your cycle. And here are 5 simple, quick tools that I know really help. I share these with my clients and I'll share them with you. The first thing you need to do when you are noticing the mental chatter, the overload of thoughts, and you're getting nowhere with them, you need to pause and label what you're doing. Label your thoughts. When you notice your brain racing, pause and say, I am having the thought that, or I am noticing that I am feeling this, or I am observing I am anxious. This is so clever and so quick, and it creates that little distance between you and your thinking. Basically, you're pressing a pause. Like pressing pause when you're watching a TikTok, pressing pause when you're watching a film. You're just giving your brain a moment just to breathe in for a second, label what you're doing, and then that takes us on to the next steps that we do, because when we've got those few moments, now you're back in the driving seat. We're going to close down that thinking brain for a second and decide our best way forward. The second thing I suggest you do is use a time limit. So if you've got something to think about, whatever else it might be, set yourself a clock or an alarm on your phone, 10 minutes. What you're doing here is giving yourself permission to take back control of the thinking. So I've got 10 minutes to worry, overthink, or brainstorm this idea, but when that timer goes off, you're giving yourself permission to leave it there. There's no expectation here you've got to solve the problem in 10 minutes. You're just allowing your brain a little bit of freedom to do what it needs to do, because remember, your brain's doing everything right, but you're not overdoing it. It's 10 minutes, not 10 hours. Tip number 3, your grounding and mindfulness are going to be your best friends here. You have to bring down the breath. So focus on your senses. Look around the room. What 5 things can you see? 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you're grateful for. This will bring your mind out of overthinking and back into the present moment. Again, you're buying yourself more time to breathe. Tip number 4, write it down. The power of journaling your thoughts can help your brain download them instead of cycling around them endlessly. Write freely, then just close the journal and step away. Or create an overthinking jar and write down the thoughts that cause you the most trouble and pop them into the jar. You can use this jar to visualize that that thought is actually in the jar, so it can't be in your head. It's a playful tool, but very powerful, and such a fantastic way to get you to think about the thinking. So if, for example, you're overthinking about whether or not I'm going to get this job, or whether or not I'm going to get onto the university course through clearing or whatever else it might be, yeah, that's a really genuine, valid thought and something that needs your attention, but not too much. So if you find it overwhelming, no, it's in my jar, it's there, I honor it, I recognize it, I'm going to turn my mind to something else. And the 5th tip is focus on action, not perfection. Instead of trying to predict every outcome, which you never will, take one small, measured step towards what you need to do. Progress, even imperfect, breaks the overthinking loop. This is my technique, which I use myself all of the time, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I've shared this with so many clients. So when you're in your overthinking brain and you're racing thoughts and you're on those mental loops and you've got all of this white noise or static going over and over again and you lost yourself in those thoughts, say this to yourself either out loud or in your head. 3, 2, 1, stop. 3, 2, 1, stop. This literally slices the thinking and directs your thoughts and your brain into a different direction where you can breathe, pause, catch your breath. 3, 2, 1, stop. Please try this and let me know if it works. You can email me, HeidiWeAreAllFine@gmail.com. If you've any ideas for future shows or you've got anything niggling in your world that you'd like a counselling informed perspective on, and I can create you a podcast, it will all be confidential. You don't need to share your name. Email me, HeidiWeAreAllFine@gmail.com. I love to hear from you. So remember, overthinking is normal. So please be kind to yourself. It really is okay to feel stuck. You're learning and you're growing. So avoid judging yourself for thinking too much. Use my 5 tips plus 1 with my 3, 2, 1, stop. And please know you are not alone. We all do it. The 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, a chunk of them are miserable, critical, and negative. But if I can just give you a moment away from your thoughts, or just give you the opportunity to take a step back, take in a deep breath, a longer exhale, and ground yourself, you will slow down your nervous system. The anxiety will reduce, and that thinking will just take a back step. Thank you for listening to We Are All Fine, Flawed, Insecure, Nervous and Emotional. Overthinking can feel overwhelming, but with awareness, grounding and some small steps, you can calm your mind and start making more confident decisions. If this episode helped, do please share this with a friend and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube or Facebook for lots and lots of daily tips on mental health, personal growth and development. None of us are perfect, and your thoughts don't define you. Your thoughts are just habits. They are not facts. If you don't feel enough in your relationship and don't know why and don't like feeling like that, you are going to get the support you need when you join me next week for episode 27, when I'm going to explain where that not good enough feeling comes from, why it shows up in your relationships mainly, and what you can do to manage it. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional, but always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Until next time. Take good care, have a great week, and if you're going back to school, college, universities, summer may be over, but I hope you also have a smile on your face. Take care. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I am not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.